Welcome to Unbiased and on the Fence. I'm Shane. It's the Power of 8 at 8, and I'm joined with Eileen. How are you doing today, Eileen?
I'm good, Shane. Hi, everybody.
Perfect timing with the mute button. I'm getting good at this. All right.
You're fast. You're fast.
It all has to do with my aim. You know what I mean? Sometimes I miss the button, sometimes I get it, but at least I'm making sure I hit it this time. So.
And we're not good. Teasing you anymore, pretending like you can't hear us.
That's funny. Yeah, I always say. Who is it? Anybody that gives me a hard time, they go live and they forget their mute button. I'm like, oh, that's instant karma coming back, you know. And I don't ever wish for anything like that on anybody, but they understand once it happens. Like, oh, that sucks the way that happens. But
what goes around comes around. Have you noticed all that speeding up? I've noticed so many synchronicities and so many things just happening faster in every possible way.
Yeah, it's weird the way that seems to be playing out.
Yeah. In a good way. It doesn't really bother me. It's just a bit kind of, things surprise me every day.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, we got Christmas tree emojis. That's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Merry Christmas.
Very festive.
Yes, this is our last show before Christmas.
Yeah, 12/22. And I want to shout out to my daughter, Bethany. It's her 14th birthday today. So,
happy birthday, Bethany.
Yeah.
You gonna have a party after the show?
Well, the show's kind of in the middle of the party, actually.
Oh boy!
So
okay.
Yeah, we're gonna.
We better be fast, guys. We got to get on with it tonight.
Oh, it's totally fine though. It's always a party over here. We got so many people in our family that it's whenever we gather, it's like a party. So
it's like somebody's birthday.
Yeah, totally.
That's kind of cool. That's really cool. Like the Waltons, huh?
Yeah. So you found some really cool residue you sent me right before the show.
Yeah, and I did a little video on it, like 10 minutes, and I just decided, I watched Mandela Effect Residue channel. He's kind of new. He's got about 200 subs, and it's called Mandela Effect Residue. And he found some current sex in the city, which is, of course, Paulo from Spirit Walker's first Mandela Effect. It's the one that triggered him. So I thought, I haven't searched that in a long time. I'll put it in my phone.
Yeah.
And you know how you get a slightly different search if you use iPhone or Android and if you use your PC versus your phone. The searches are never like identical. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
And then sometimes you'll do a search and then the next day you'll do a search and it'll come up slightly differently.
Yeah, that is strange the way that happens.
Yeah.
And going over to, if you go to DuckDuckGo instead of, then you get a completely, it doesn't seem like they,
completely different to Google.
Yeah.
And I haven't tried Yahoo in a very long time, but I probably should. But I know DuckDuckGo, they say, doesn't track your searches, so it's a little better place where you have a little more respect of your privacy. They also say that's true of Firefox as your, what's that called? That's not a browser.
Yeah.
And then Firefox puts out an email program for free that doesn't track anything, and it's called Thunderbird. And I've got it. But it's like having an email program from 10 or 15 years ago. It's very, very old-fashioned, but that's okay.
All the new bells and whistles is probably what makes it so trackable.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
So there's no ads on it. There's no like emojis, and you can't change the font. It's the way email used to be when it first started.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So first I did a search on my phone on DuckDuckGo, sex in the city. And boom, for the first time ever, the Mandela Effect popped up with the old version and the current version on the same screen by official sources, not by like Wendy in Minnesota who typed it in wrong. Do you know what I mean? And did a posting on it and did a review of it. But one was like on, very, very official type.
Like one was Amazon or something, I thought I saw.
Yeah. Do you want to bring that one up? Because that would be image number 4.
Okay. Yeah.
We're going backwards through them.
Totally cool. We do things backwards around here.
Yeah, why not? Just keep it interesting. And can I see the image too when it comes up?
Let me see here. Let me share my screen. Screen 2. Okay, there's that. And then let me go back to the image. Okay, here we go.
So
You can
cool.
see
I
that,
can
right?
see it. Yeah, now I can. Oh, we got Kit Kat. That's okay.
Oops.
I guess I was wrong. Probably image 4 was Kit Kat. Who knows, right? So this is just a oh, there's Chuck E. Cheese. There's Home
Oh,
Depot.
that's
There's
weird.
who
Maybe
knows?
they loaded them backwards. Oh, you know
How
what? I
cool
think
is
I might have
that?
downloaded them. They're not actually numbered, I don't think so.
Okay, gotcha. No biggie, no biggie, because there's only 4. So this is just a DuckDuckGo. I put in sex in the city. Now the first thing that pops up is a porn site, which has a series called Sex in the City, and I'm like, really? Okay, so we'll just forget about that. But right under it is on Amazon, Sex in the City.
Yeah.
Now, if you click that, it takes you to Sex and the City movies and TV shows. And right below it on the search is, of course, the new Sex and the City in Wikipedia and HBO. So somebody said, a couple of people said, oh, you can't go by Amazon searches. So don't really rely on that one, but I've got lots more to
Yeah.
show that they're marketing the old way it was remembered and the new way it was remembered. And that's kind of a new thing that they've just started doing where, at first when you'd search things, you had to hunt hard and long to find something. But now they're like, hey, you like it that way? We'll put it that way and then you can buy our merchandise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think one thing I noticed early on is like business names that it changed. If you went and checked like the web address, they still bought the one that, it used to be. It was just
Now
weird because
that's weird because the web addresses you're going to find on the next few images are really the old way. They're really the Mandela way.
okay, let's move along here. The next
So
one
they
I
haven't
have is
bothered to change their web addresses because they'd have to re-register them, dump them.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
there we have Home Depot.
Okay, so there I typed in Home Depot instead of the Home Depot. And if you look at the whole page, go out a little bit. Yeah, look at that. First thing that comes up is an official HomeDepot.com site saying Home Depot official site. They're marketing to the Mandela effect.
I love it.
And then below it, the same website puts the Home Depot. But take a look at the web address under the Home Depot. What does the website say?
Yeah, Home Depot. I,
HomeDepot.com.
There was the same thing with Beats by Dre. Now it's Beats by Dr. Dre headphones, but the web address is still Beats by Dre. So it's like,
Okay.
it's like what
So
the
those are
heck?
the best. Those are the best residue that we
Yeah.
have until they decide to dump the websites and issue, relicense, and re-register new websites.
Now
But
another
look at
way, while
that.
you're talking about this, another way I've come up with, if you like look up liquid plumber or something, and something that's changed, depends or something like that. A lot of times you can search through the images and find the image name itself. If you like save it to your computer, it will have the original spelling in the name of the file. Like when they uploaded it to the web, they
That's
named it what it
really good
was.
residue.
Yeah, but it's like fishing. I mean, it's hard to find one. It's
Yeah,
not like
harder to
everyone is
find.
like that, and it's getting
But
harder.
do you remember, Shane, when you couldn't find them through simple searches?
Yeah,
Go to another one. This is all from like last night or the night before.
yeah,
Chuck E. Cheese is the way I remember it, and a lot of people remember it.
yeah,
Look what pops up. The
yeah,
first one, Chuck E. Cheese. They're marketing to Mandela people.
yeah,
And then underneath it, this one's funny. This is the official website. The first line says Chuck E. Cheese's. Then 2 lines down, it's Chuck E. Cheese's with an apostrophe.
yeah.
And then at the bottom, if you read the website, it's Chuck E. Cheese. So this is how confused the company is. They never would have done this, back in the day or
Oh,
even now.
yeah,
They shouldn't. To put the name spelled 3 different ways in the official posting written by the company.
yeah. And here we have this birthday parties here, kids' birthday
Chuck E.
parties,
Cheese's,
and
Chuck E.
then
Cheese, and just Chuck E. and
right,
the gang. Oh, okay, Chuck E. and the gang. But that middle one. Now,
yeah,
if I spell check the middle one, they're writing Chuck E. Cheese's 3 different ways.
yeah.
There you go.
That's
That
wild.
one in the middle. Chuck E. Cheese's, no apostrophe. Chuck E. Cheese's with an apostrophe. And then at the bottom, chuckecheese.com. So the company doesn't know its own name and it writes it and spells it 3 different ways.
That's hilarious.
Isn't that hilarious? Now, some people from a debunking channel very politely said, oh no, whatever you put in that search bar up there is what comes up in the posting. And I had to do a whole big, no, that's not true, because I used to write postings for companies in Europe, and whatever I put in the posting would go online, and then whatever people put in the search bar didn't matter. It would correct for it and bring up whatever I put in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like people change the posting. The company changes the posting, not you.
And it's one of those things that wouldn't be hard to just throw in a bunch of misspelled stuff and check it out and see if, you spelled, I don't know, things wrong, if it's going to come
Yeah,
up
like
completely wrong.
Charles's cheeses,
Right.
Charles E. cheeses. If I put that in the search bar, is it suddenly going to come up with the company posting under Charles E. Cheese? It doesn't work that way.
Right.
Because then you could make fun of companies and change them all kinds of ridiculous ways.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. We got one more? Yeah.
Look at that. I just put in Kit Kat. I forgot to put the dash in. I just put a space in between it. And what do we get? We get Kit Space Cat. We get Kit Dash Cat, right?
I'm trying to see. Oh, yeah, down here.
And then look at the image of the candy bar, Kit Kat with no space.
Yeah.
We have the company 3 ways on one simple search on one page. It's
I
like
got to
Kit
zoom
Kat-
in to let everybody see this down here because it's going off of the page. You can see
Yeah.
it, but they can't. So
It's like Kit Kat doesn't know what its name is anymore. We got Kit Dash Cat.
here we
Yeah.
have Amazon again.
Yeah. The Amazon is definitely marketing to Mandelians.
Yeah.
They're putting it the Mandela way, and they're putting it the new way. So and somebody in the comments very rightly said it's probably to capture as much money as possible. They're like, oh my God, if 1 million people think it's sex in the city, we better market it that way to capture their business,
Right.
capture their income. But it's like a quiet official nod or acknowledgement that this Mandela effect thing is happening.
Yeah.
Now there you've got Kit Space Cat, and then in the candy bar picture you've got Kit Kat no space.
And of course, Nestle, that's another one.
Yep.
Just within that company.
But that's the old
Nestles.
Nestle. Didn't they change to Nestle's? No, they didn't. They used to be Nestle's. Is that it?
Yeah. And there's the Faith No More song, Nestles, Nestle's makes the very best. It doesn't even rhyme anymore without the S on the end. And you can even watch that old commercial and the labels changed. And I remember watching as a kid, and you would see the candy bar going by and he would sing the letters as the candy bar wrapper's going by. But now he says S and there's no S on the end
Did
any
it have
longer.
an apostrophe or not? Because I'm not good with that one.
No, I don't think it did. I've seen it some places with an apostrophe S because now it's got this accent mark here that sometimes shows up but sometimes doesn't. But they've even got ones from like I think it was the 50s or 60s where they had the ventriloquist and that guy, that I forgot what you call those little dolls.
Edgar Barron? No.
It was black and white, and they were talking about Nestle, and he says Nestle's quick, blah blah blah, and he says it several times, and then he says Nestles, Nestle's makes the very best, and he says Nestle's, and so
they spelled it out. Nestles.
Yeah.
Nestle's makes the very best. Nestle. Nestle's makes the very best. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Very bestie.
Oh, yeah. But isn't it interesting? So Dead GPK commented that if you search it the current way, it will not show you the Mandela way with the current way. And I done that too, and I forgot to put that in the video. If you search it the Mandela way, the old way, it'll show you both. And if you search it the new way, it'll only show you the new way. Talk about AI, where it can show you different searches results based on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and it seems like it would be too much for them to micromanage it. It has to be AI, It seems like they probably had to write some code to go and do stuff, but they can sweep the web pretty effectively now. And
quickly.
Yeah.
So the only one we didn't show, which is fine, is Home Depot. If you put in...
we looked at that one first.
Oh, okay. I thought we did Sex in the City.
Yeah. Yeah, because
because
the web address was Home Depot. Right. Yeah.
Boom. Rewind. I told her I was tired tonight. I was just like, Shane's like, how are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm just kind of sleepy tonight. Yeah. I gave up coffee. No wonder. I've been drinking coffee since I was about 17 or 18. And it does tend to give me a bit of a sour stomach, even if I put just a bit of coconut milk,
Mm.
organic milk, or almond milk in it. And so after how many years? Almost 40 years, I've just given up coffee this week.
Oh, wow. Like what
It's not
day?
making me mellow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not ready quite yet to let go of the caffeine, but
I've switched black tea. So I try to get it organically, and I have 2 cups of black tea hot with a little bit of milk in it, my husband used to have it, and my dad, and my grandpa. They all had tea instead of coffee
well, it's
in that
got
time.
caffeine in it, right?
Hmm. But apparently not as much, or I'm not drinking as much of it. I don't apparently enjoy it as much as coffee, so I feel like, but it does make me feel more mellow too.
It's
I'm sure
probably a different kind of
of caffeine.
caffeine. Yeah, like a different strain or something.
I do miss it. I miss it a little bit, but I'll adjust to it and see what that's like, because that's like asking for a quantum jump for me. We'll see what else changes from that, because that's breaking a huge habit.
That is a
It's like
big
when
one.
it is. It's like when you go from smoking to non-smoking. That's a huge change in your lifestyle.
Hmm.
You know,
Okay, let's see here. Let me look at the chat, see what's going on, if we're missing
who's
anything.
in the room?
Oh, yeah, yeah, we got people here. Let's see, what are we at? 51.
Hello, 51 people.
Yeah, 51 people ready to. That's so cool because we have a nice solid group, I think, of people that really get the whole applying your intention to change reality and stuff. And, you know, I think
Yeah,
it's,
I've noticed that we're attracting between 50 and 100,
yeah,
any number in between.
yeah,
And a lot of people join us later because we've been doing 2-hour shows, and we've been doing those. Like, we're not going to do it tonight because of the birthday party for your daughter, but we've been doing those meditations really late. So we'll like chop for like an hour, hour and 20 minutes, and then get around to it.
yeah. But time flies. I mean, I don't usually notice it until it's like, oh my gosh, normally we would be ending it here, but we could still got to do the meditation. But, it's always a blast and people enjoy the time of chatting and having a good time.
Yep, yep. Popping in and saying hi to each other as well. Uh-oh, my puppy's barking.
Oh, I
I
can't
might
hear
have to put her in a bathroom or something for the meditation. We'll see. She's been quiet. She's been really good. She's maturing.
it.
So I heard on the live stream, I didn't get to listen to all of it. I'll finish it tomorrow. That you're gonna do like a paranormal show with Sherry,
Oh,
the
yeah.
detective.
Yeah, if I can get her to. She's got a few things she's got to get first, but she's always got all these stories that she sends me and stuff, and other people's stories, and I'm like,
That would
I,
be super cool.
yeah, it'd be really neat.
Because think of all the people who started sending me pictures of orbs and ghosts when we started doing orbs and ghosts, because we just happened to bump into them. I was in a haunted hotel, and then my family's house was full of orbs in England.
Yeah,
So we weren't out looking for them, but what a fun show that would be.
yeah, totally. Yeah, really looking forward to it. I think that'd be fun. Just for people that want. I mean, I already have this guy Kelly that sent me some stuff that is so fascinating, and it's people have to see it because once I slowed it down, and he's like, "No, I was in there by myself," and you see this figure moving down like from this 9 foot tall garage, the top of it, and it's just a few frames of it moving. And I'll let people decide what they think it looks like, but it looks like something for sure. It's not
Is it a
just.
shadow figure? Is it just a
It,
shadow?
it's pretty clear. It almost looks like an old lady with a hat on or something. It's pretty creepy looking actually.
Yeah, I was going to say some things I imagine would scare me if I
Yeah,
suddenly saw an old person float down the wall, but you always sometimes catch things moving out of the side.
yeah,
And I'm not sure if that's the veil and those are the shadow people in other dimensions, or if it's part of that universe theory where the only thing that's physical is what you can see. And
yeah.
as you move your focus away from things, they go back into potentiality, into waveform.
Yeah, this looks pretty physical. It's in fact, he's moving the camera around at the moment, and he just kind of points at this other direction for a second while he's trying to adjust it on the tripod or whatever. And at that moment, I thought he was working with another mechanic, and that he was walking by the back of the car, right? So I'm like, I see the other
Yeah,
mechanic. He goes, No, I was there by myself. And I'm like, what? So then I put it in my editing program, and I really stretched it out where each frame takes like a few seconds to go, and I could really view it. And then I realized it looked like a person, but it looked nothing like a mechanic once I got to see it really slow.
Have you shown this one yet? Is
No,
this
I haven't.
on?
No, I
Okay.
wanted to have him come
Maybe
on.
I missed it.
Yeah, no, I haven't shown it yet, but it's definitely it gives you chills when you see it when you realize, and you know, like I said, I thought it was a coworker or something, and when I slowed it down, he goes, "No, I was there by myself. I can clearly see he's moving the camera around. So who is this walking behind this car he's working on, you know?" And then once I saw that, I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" Because he's moving it, it's blurred a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's still clear. It wasn't like a shadowy figure. It wasn't like an orb where it's like, well, it was dust. You know,
Yeah, it
people.
wasn't like you could see through it and it was just like, yeah, shadow. It was solid, huh?
Yeah, it was solid and it was floating downward and it looked like a figure. One frame looks like one type of figure, the next frame looks like another because of the way it kind of blurs a little bit, but you can still see detail and looks like eyes and a mouth
I
and
don't think I would have liked that if I was in that garage by myself. I would have skedaddled stage left, right?
Yeah, he didn't see it at the time. He
Oh,
Yeah, he had put the strobe light on. He was purposely trying to capture something. So he put
oh,
the strobe light on and just had his camera set up, and then he decided to readjust it. Well, when he readjusted it is when it showed up, but he didn't see it right then. He was just kind of looking through it
can you
later.
capture them with strobe better than with your flashlight put on full blast?
I don't know. I think he was just trying to like leave the video going and then add the flash because he heard that, you know, a lot of times you can catch things with flash
Yeah,
better.
for some reason, the plasma that makes them up, I've been told, responds to flash really well.
Yeah. But
Gives it that
it
flash.
was eerie, but it's one of those things that I
I want
think
to see it. Come on, Sherry.
a secret, yeah, a separate segment for people that you know get the heebie-jeebies too. You know, I just feel like it's the Vel's dropping. It's there all the time,
Yeah,
and
me too.
you know, so it's
It
nothing
doesn't
really to
bother
be
me. I love
fearful.
watching this stuff
Yeah, it's exciting. I think.
on the computer screen more than in
Right,
person in my room, right?
right, or on footage where you know you were there and it captured something and you didn't see it until later, and it's like, whoa, I was right next to this figure
Maybe
flying
they're
down.
around all the time. Maybe
Yeah.
they're the interdimensionals.
Yeah, so I'm excited about having him on because he's also him and his daughter have also sent me a lot of great residue over the months. So he started watching because of the Mandela effect, and then he just sent me this
Cool.
stuff, and I'm like, dude, you got to come on for this stuff, you know, because it's so amazing, you know, and I trust him. You know, I know that. You know, he's been sending me stuff for so long. I know that's the question that would be in someone's mind. Either this guy faked this being flying down, you know, it wouldn't be like it's dust. It would be like he had to have faked it or something. It wouldn't, you know what I mean? There wouldn't be a
But you
question
know the
about,
people who are sending stuff in, and you're
right?
like, okay, I know this person, so
Yeah,
it's not CGI'd.
yeah,
Like when I sent you my little UFO banner. It's a
exactly.
banner, it's a UFO, it keeps going in and out of
Yeah,
existence, basically. And after that, I saw a whole bunch of videos of squares and rectangles flying around. Now, not so much.
yeah,
And, it just seemed to be a lot all at once, all over the place. You just look up and see a square.
yeah.
And now a triangle. There's a couple of triangles, but that's normal. But I mean big triangles. Like, I don't know. I think they're just throwing plasma up there and messing with us. I really do sometimes. Sometimes I think Blue Beam is practicing.
Maybe so. Yeah, I've also noticed a lot of, you don't see the craft, but you see the effect of the craft.
Yeah,
Like,
the effects.
yeah, like big square cut out of the clouds and stuff like
Yes,
that.
yes. And clouds with real sharp right angles.
Hmm.
Like, and the angles will be everywhere. And you're like, how did that cloud grow into perfect right angles all over the place?
Yeah. Have you seen the ones that look like just there's a straight line? Like there's clouds here, a
No,
straight
I
line where
haven't
they
seen
cut
it
off.
in person. Have you? Have you
Not in
seen it?
person. No.
I've seen the videos though, and they look like they're legitimate.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I'd seen it on Mr. MBB, but you know, you never know if somebody photoshopped it and sent it to him or whatever. I know he wouldn't put something fake up on purpose, but you know, it looks awfully strange that, you know, it looks like, you know, the sort of the top of a roof and it's like, you know, clouds and then no clouds and it's like, what is that perfect
Oh, I
angle?
think I've seen that,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen it here.
Yeah.
But I have seen that, when all the lights go out in streaks of dark and streaks of sunlight
Oh, yeah,
at
yeah.
sunset.
I think they
And I'm
call
like,
that a shade or what do they call that?
you told me.
Yeah, they got a name for that. 'Cause
I get that here, but only if I go and look at the sun over the Gulf.
Yeah.
You get those weird streaks, but there's no clouds in the sky. There's no
Yeah.
clouds to make the shading.
Yeah. What's up with that? You know?
Yeah, it's like what's shading it? What? So it's really dark in between the really bright. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a child's painting almost of drawing of a sun with lines coming out of it.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, that's weird. It's almost like there's a building over the horizon that's blocking chunks of the light or something. It
Yeah,
is weird.
there's a lot of anomalies which keep us on our toes. I
Yeah.
think we're more sensitive to it than maybe the general community because they're not really interested and they're not looking for it. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking for it and I just notice it.
Yeah. I also wonder if it's hills, maybe. Like, you know.
Except mine was in the water. So it was like water, sun, streaks.
Oh, right.
So there's nothing between us, not even boats.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like half and half, though. Like,
Oh yeah, because there's land on the other side.
yeah,
We're,
maybe so.
straight across from me is Mexico.
Yeah.
I think Cancun even might be straight across
Yeah.
from where
That's
I'm
weird,
looking.
though.
Yeah. Well,
Strange stuff.
should we start an early meditation because we'll probably say our goodbyes for 5 minutes afterwards, and we wanted a 1 hour show tonight.
Yeah, we can. So we're doing joy.
Yeah, last week you were saying, and I was like agreeing, and everybody seemed really happy because it's before Christmas to do a meditation on joy.
Okay. Yeah,
Happy.
keep the family feuds to a minimum.
I bet some of those are already starting. I hate to say it because a lot of family have already moved in, haven't they?
Yep, they've already showed up.
Well, that's the fun part. That's also part of the Christmas tradition. I
Yeah.
remember my mom getting super stressed out because I don't know why. She always cooked a full Thanksgiving dinner again on Christmas. It was everything we just had for Thanksgiving again, brand new on Christmas. And of course, after cooking for 8 hours, she'd be absolutely frazzled. And I'd have to open my presents with my family and my dad,
Yeah.
because she needed to go have a rest or something. Not all the time, bless her. She's not here anymore. We had wonderful Christmases, but that was a lot of pressure.
I wonder how many people notice the Stouffer stovetop. It's funny that we would never have Stouffer stovetop stuffing during the holidays. It was like they made the real stuff,
The
by
real
hand.
deal.
And then, like other times of the year, you would have Stouffer stovetop stuffing. But now, for those who haven't heard, Stouffer stovetop stuffing has never
Never
existed. It's
existed.
always been Kraft.
In a red box. Remember the Stouffer's was in a blue box, maybe with a bit of green and white. It wasn't in a red box.
Yeah, I don't remember the box, but I remember hearing because people said the whole name Stouffer stovetop. They never really said just
So is there a
stovetop.
Stouffer's anything anymore? Do they have all the other products but just not their stuffing?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I did find an answer to the mystery of the Duracell Pink Bunny and the Ever Ready Pink Bunny.
Oh, you did?
Because, yes, it did. And I didn't save the video. I watched a video, which, not on purpose, it just popped up in my feed that said, like, back in the 60s and 70s, Duracell put out the first Pink Bunny. And it was like, look, this toy, all the other toys just, boop, the batteries died, but there went the Pink Bunny. And Eveready, which competed with them, put out a really cool Pink Bunny with,
Or
sunglasses,
Energizer, right?
Energizer,
Right, right.
and what is this? Tambourine?
Symbols,
No,
yeah.
cymbals. And it would like run this slow Duracell bunny around, and then out would come the Energizer bunny and run circles around him. So Duracell got mad and went, "Well, we're not doing a Pink Bunny anymore." Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's the video. There's a video out there that says actually both of them at one time actually had a Pink Bunny. Because a lot of people think, obviously that they think, oh my God, it's Mandela effect. There never, could have been
yeah.
a Duracell Pink Bunny.
Doesn't that sound like a lawsuit, though?
It does to me too.
That sounds
But it
like if
wasn't.
that
It
was
was at the time when they did the Coke and Pepsi challenge. They grab people on the street, put a blindfold on, and in these little Dixie cups on a little table, you taste a Coke, you take a Pepsi, and then say which one you liked. And then they'd reveal that Coke won or Pepsi won. And for some reason, they were allowed to mention each other, which you can't do now.
No,
You
you
can't
can't.
slam each other in advertising.
Yeah, even what was it, Papa John's Pizza, where their slogan was "Better ingredients, better pizza." They made them change that. It's like, how can you?
Yeah.
That's kind of
Because of the
prying into
Mandela
how.
book, which everybody we've written it, it's finished. So if you guys probably don't need it, but if you want to give it to somebody who isn't Mandela, they'll understand it a lot more when they
Yeah,
have a proper book in their hand and they're like, oh, so this is what it's about. And we found out that we cannot use anything that's trademarked or registered. We can't even draw it. Shane's an artist, so he could so easily sketch the old Volvo logo, the new one, the old Ford, the new one, VW, etc. But it's protected. They own all images of it, even the images that Shane draws.
That's crazy, isn't it? You can't even do like a simple pencil drawing of it. I
No,
mean,
they own
if
that
it's,
image.
yeah,
It's like their brand. It identifies their brand, so they own every use of it.
yeah,
And we can use public domain art. We can use any art with the artist's permission, but we can use public domain art. But like, let's say in the Louvre or Louvre, and you know, whether you're in Europe or not, they say it differently, and you want to do the Mona Lisa, and the Louvre has taken a picture of the Mona Lisa, and it's all over the internet, and you look it up and you find out the Mona Lisa is public domain. Anybody can use it. If you use the Louvre's digital image of it, you are going against their copyright ownership because they own the digitized version or rendering of that public domain art, that
yeah,
free art.
yeah,
So
because it's an image of it.
yeah, because they own the image, but they don't own. No, they don't own the image. It's hard to describe.
They own the photo of the painting, but not the painting itself is public domain. So you can go in there and take a picture yourself, or use a picture that's your friend takes or something along those lines. But the actual image itself that they take is copyrighted because they use their camera and
That's
did it. So.
digital ownership.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to be really careful. We are jumping through all these legal loopholes, aren't we, as we try to get there's like a couple of Mandela books out. Sousa's got one out. We're just, we're kind of testing the ground here because there haven't been a lot of Mandela books out, and they do deal with official names of companies and logos and art and corporations and things like that, movies, TV.
But we have to be careful. We don't want to be made an example, so we got to play by the rules, and we're kind of limited with what we can show, but we can describe things.
Yes, we can, and we are going to.
Definitely.
We've described it. And it's also interesting because it's legal to share your memory. So whatever your memory is of anything, that's your memory. You own it. You can write about it. You can act it out. You can sing about it. It's yours and it's legal. But it's not legal for me to say on paper, the VW logo has changed. If I say that, I have to prove it. Right. I have to prove that the logo changed and that it changed mysteriously.
Right.
Right. But if I go, oh, I remember because I had a VW. On my steering wheel, it used to look like this. And then after this year, it looked like that. Yeah. That's totally legal because my memory belongs to me.
And a bunch of other people have the same memory. And then
coincidentally, we all remember the same mistake, right?
Right. It wasn't that it was in a square, now it's in a circle. It's like this line, and everybody remembers the line. You could remember that it used to be in a triangle or a square.
Or like Lego bricks or... wavy lines. Everybody would remember it differently, which is the most brilliant argument for the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Is that when people misremember it, they misremember it in exactly the same way. So they don't misremember it. It was that way.
Yeah, totally.
Now, that's why everybody's leaving this alone officially. Mainstream scientists, news, they don't know how to deal with it yet because they can't say, oh my God, they've tried saying it's confabulation, which means mass misremembrance, but misremembrance exactly the same way.
Yeah,
that would be insane. That would be proof of a hive mind. And they're like, oh, we don't want you guys to know that your subconscious is connected, and we're manipulating it with all this fear mongering and fearful movies and fearful politics and fearful news. We don't want you to know that.
Right.
So we're going to leave this Mandela effect thing alone until we can figure out how to handle it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's exciting, I think, and yeah, they want to stay away from it, because all it's going to do is bring more attention to it, and they know people will notice if they just don't want to even talk about it. I think so.
Not yet. I'm sure they're going to. I'm sure they don't like it, and they want to figure out how to get control of it, get control of the narrative. But if everybody in the world remembers the change exactly the same way, and they're saying it's a faulty memory, that proves we're all one. It's like, oh my God, when we misremember something, we all misremember it as one. exactly the same way. And they're like, wait, that's too much information for the masses. That would give them too much power to realize that when you come together like we do here to create positive change, there's a lot of power in that. And we don't want them to know that because we're manipulating that with negativity.
Yeah.
So I do believe that in a way, the Mandela effect has proved that, or at least our subconscious is all one. We have like
Hmm.
one mind
Yeah.
subconsciously.
And that would lead to the big reveal that they put all this fear out there to sort of try to control us that way. I mean, it would be letting the cat out the bag in so many different ways. It would be a disclosure of sorts, you
It
know?
would be.
Yeah.
So that's why they're so hush hush on this Mandela effect. But I know their little minds are turning. How can we get a hold of the narrative? How can we steer it, control it? You know,
Yes, Darla Dawn. Do you remember the sunglasses on the Raisin Bran?
I sure do. They were
Yeah.
black. They were black, and I don't think you could see his eyes through them. Weren't they
No.
like pure black
Yeah, they were just,
glasses?
yeah, he just had sunglasses on. Like
Yep.
like that emoticon or emoji that, yeah, just
I'm
black
getting a lot
glasses.
of comments. I don't do many Mandela effect videos anymore, but when I do, I'm getting comments from a lot of newbies who are going, I didn't believe it for the last 2 years, but now I've seen Dolly's braces. They'll name one thing, like you said, you've always said this. When one thing changes that you absolutely know was different, that's when you come on board and go, hey, everything's shifty. All this is changing around you. But until you get that one thing that
Yeah.
meant something to you.
And it's really strange because like things like Looney Tunes and Fruit Loops, I knew they had changed, but that wasn't enough to.
No,
I
I
just
didn't
thought I must have been mistaken, you
see
know?
Fruit Loops, and I didn't really. I watched Looney Tunes as a kid.
Yeah.
That didn't trigger me. But
It's just.
I was one of those early triggered ones because I went to South Africa to interview Nelson Mandela and wound up interviewing his captors instead, the government people who were deciding whether to let him out because he was dying. 1984 in
Uh,
prison. And then I remember they announced they would release him, and he died in prison 2 weeks before his release. That was around 1987.
wow.
So by 1995, he became prime minister of, or president of South Africa, president in 1994. And he came to England in 95, and he was all over the news with the Spice Girls because they were the big thing then. And I'm like, what? How did this guy come back from the grave?
So you
That's
noticed that in '94,
impossible. I noticed it in 95 when he
'95.
toured England,
Wow.
and he was all over the news. And I was like, impossible. There's no way my memory can be that bad because the only reason I noticed was I had a personal stake in it. I actually went there.
Yeah.
So, and I was working in news when he
Yeah.
died in Chicago for National Public Radio. So I had a stake in it. Everybody else around me wouldn't notice because they didn't really have as much personal involvement as I did.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, I think Art Bell, it was around 2000, 2001 that he started getting, I think, around 1,000. We bring that out in the book, but he got 1,000 emails of people like, what the heck? We thought Nelson Mandela was dead. And, there's that clip of Bush in, I think, '07, where they
Oh
were
yeah,
like,
Mandela's dead.
yeah. And then he
Bring out
kind of,
Mandela, bring out Mandela, Mandela's dead.
yeah, and then
And
he tried to fix it by saying that all the Mandelas are dead.
yeah,
Do you remember how
yeah,
weird that was? It was
yeah,
just
that
really
is
a strange
strange. I
interaction.
think that in one of my playlists, way, way down,
Yeah.
in early days when I was watching these things. And my mom had it in the 70s. So it could be speeding up,
Yeah.
but it's always been here
Yeah.
because my mom would be driving and on the news it would say, some famous like Barbara Stanwyck died today. And she'd go, no, she didn't. She died 10 years ago. I clearly remember. And I'm like, oh, mom, whatever. You got a bad memory. Instead of going, yes, mom, because that's a Mandela effect.
What you sow, you reap. Now you're getting it right. Oh no, you got a bad memery.
Yeah,
That wasn't
I didn't
nothing.
even judge her. I was just like, really? You really think? And she said, yeah. And this would happen probably like 3 times a decade.
Right.
She'd tell me, oh my God, this is impossible. I know because she either read it and looked at pictures of the funeral and who
Yeah.
attended, so she has an actual memory of the event. People who remember people coming back to life say, I watched their funeral on TV. I saw what their widow wore, and so they have a personal investment in it.
Yeah.
Whereas we don't because we didn't really pay attention.
Yeah. And it does. It takes that one big thing. Like Dolly's braces was one for me, but I was already seeing it at that point. But I remember, you know, you'd watch cable commercials, and they use that clip so much, you know, that I didn't even need to see the movie. I remember just seeing the little clip and be like, "Whoa, what movie is that?" But I remember the braces, and you know, so it
That
wasn't.
is like one of the best ones that trigger. And of course, Star Wars seems to trigger a lot of people.
Yeah,
You know, and then you got James Earl Jones, the actor, going on video going, when I saw that line and then he says it, Luke, I am your father. I said, I have to do this movie.
right.
And now it's like, it's not even there anymore. That line, that iconic line is gone. But I really do think that this has been around a long time, but maybe it's speeding up.
Yeah.
You know how the magnetic shield is getting thinner and time is going faster. And latest news, I caught it. And I didn't read the whole article or anything like that. Saturn is losing its rings. Did you see
What?
that?
No.
Yeah. Because most of its ring material is made up of ice.
And it's
And
melting, huh?
everything's heating up in the solar system. So Saturn is losing its rings. But then I've seen where Jupiter has rings. And all these other planets have rings now. And I'm like,
That's
you know,
strange. I
some
wonder
of
how
it,
many of them have moons that are ice that are melting. Or if that would they just, I guess they would just remain a moon, right? A satellite, and it would just be
I don't know.
watery instead of icy.
I don't know because a lot of people say none of that stuff's real anyway. It's part of this fake reality that we've been programmed with. So it's like until I go out there, I don't know. I don't know what's real and what's not real because you can't trust the storytellers, the official.
Well, you know, Crow 777 channel had put out a video a long time ago about these waves you could see going across the moon, right?
Yes, I saw them too.
Okay, so I was watching that and I just never could. I believed that they were really there. I didn't think he faked it or anything, but I just couldn't rule out a camera anomaly because he didn't have two cameras side by side, both picking up the same thing. And digital cameras can do weird things, you know. But someone else I watched, Diversity J, I think her channel name is, she was zoomed in on the moon, and you can see two waves start going across it. And she was zoomed in so far that they go out of view, right? Well, then she zooms out where you can see the whole moon, and you can see the waves finishing across the bottom edge of the moon. It can't be a camera anomaly because it went out of sight. She zoomed out, and you could see the waves were much smaller. So it wasn't like you couldn't say it was the camera. So there was for sure two waves going across the moon that totally made it look like it was just a projection.
Just a projection. But then that gets us back into the universe theories. And is this all a projection of some kind?
Right.
You know, the holographic.
Yeah.
And you don't have to just have holographic, you can have multi dimensions in a hologram, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it's okay. So you know, it's hard for people when they lose their grasp of reality. You know, their foundation of this is this and that is that, and
Yeah.
these things shall never change. If everything else changes around it, these things never change. And
And
it's
I
such.
know because it's hard for me. I've seen stuff and it's still hard for me to believe things, you know?
But you know what? We still have to keep one foot in 3D. This group really does. We're very successful at it and be able to live our lives successfully and happily and joyfully while we explore these crazy possibilities.
Yeah.
Not only crazy like you're crazy, I mean out there, woohoo, wow, isn't that fabulous? While we explore these fabulous possibilities, keep grounded and just go. You know, you still have to pay your bills and tuck your kids in at night, and you still got to feed yourself and go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
So some people are a little bit overreacting to this stuff, and I understand why. You know, in our community even, and I've seen some videos, and I think that's why I hope this joy um, meditation really helps, because even though we're here and maybe we don't want to be here, we want to be in a 5D environment, we've got to play the game in the environment we're in so that we can be happy, successful. It doesn't mean we have to go and do horrible things like, you know, but do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And it is. It's hard to, I mean, it's hard not to get freaked out at first when you see things changing in such a impossible seeming way, you know, and it's like, But after a while of seeing it happen and seeing that, okay, we're still here, we're still okay, nothing horrible's happened, you can begin to settle down about it a little bit more and consider what might be happening without being so freaked out about it. But yeah,
Yeah.
we seem crazy to people when you first notice it, and you're like, look at this, and then nobody's paying attention, nobody's seeing what you're seeing, and you try, the more you, that happens, the more you try to get it across to people, and the more you look crazy to them. So it's like,
Well, there's a lady in our community, and she's definitely been in our chat rooms. And Scott Harrison did a video on her yesterday, and I went over to her channel. It's a small channel, and a bunch of us did, and just gave her support, love and support. And I could really hear from the audio of her speaking with child services that she wasn't saying the right responses, because we know what we know, and we know what we think we know. We don't even know if what we know is true in the new stuff. We don't even know what's causing the Mandela effect, right?
right.
But if we're in a situation with authorities who can't see any of this stuff, and I don't want to call them asleep anymore, because it's kind of an insult that we're awake and they're asleep. But if they're completely immune to these fabulous things that are going on that we are actually noticing, then is not the time to try to convince them that either the world is ending or the Mandela effect, matter is shifting and changing. Sometimes when you're dealing
That life's a video game, I think is how she worded it. So yeah, that kind of stuff just sounds crazy to people that
they
haven't
think,
heard it.
oh my God, that person's crazy. And then because you're dealing with authorities,
Yeah.
they take the next step and the next step and the next step. And I was listening to this really cool video from a molecular biologist who knows Bruce Lipton. And she said she went to Sweden and was meeting with another doctor, and they did a little talk about how sound affects the physical body, and that the new way of healing is going to, they think, be sound, because sound is vibration, right? That makes sense. And she went on to say that eventually there are these portals, right, that even NASA talks about, if you can believe them or not, from the sun to the earth, but they go all over the universe. And eventually, through sound, we should be able to tap in to other dimensions and other universes and other places in our universe to exchange information, kind of like a human D-Wave.
Mm-hmm.
They locked her up and they tested her to see if she needed to be put in institutionalized. I don't know who turned her in and who said this crazy lady is spreading. This was in Sweden, and she was like, oh my God, thank God in America you can speak your mind freely. And we do, guys, we speak freely. But when you're dealing with authorities, you're going to have to be in the authority matrix and say what needs to be said to keep everything moving along. Don't you think, Shane?
Oh, totally. Yeah, we definitely need to be careful about how we frame things. And that's even on this channel, I try to frame things in the what if category rather than, hey, this is how it is. Because, if you're in the what if or allegedly, and if you use this kind of terminology, like you're just sort of leaving it open, they can't turn around and, play something that I've said in court and it sound too crazy because I just said, what if, or,
It really is a what if.
Yeah.
To be honest, even if you said
Yeah.
the Mandela effect is real, this is what's causing it, and it's the end of the world, I'd be like, I'm not too sure about that. So we believe it's a what if. We're not even pretending. But
Right.
yes, we do word things appropriately so that, but then some people go, oh, you're just being like, you're being
Wishy-washy. Or,
yeah,
oh, right.
you're just afraid of the authorities. No, it's not that so much as we're playing on their platform.
Yeah.
This platform, YouTube, is not a spiritual platform.
Yeah.
We're in the mainstream and we're playing according to the mainstream rules, and we're giving it all of our love and energy and spirituality in the matrix of the MSM.
Yeah. So yeah, we definitely need to be careful, and I don't think fearful is the thing, but just careful,
No, I agree. And when you're with somebody like Shane, you can say anything and not get worried about getting locked up. But when you're in a public place talking to authorities,
Well, I had Scott on last night later in the program. You probably didn't get to see it. And he was explaining how she had said something to a stranger in the library, and that's how it all started. They called somebody or something, and I figured it was a family member that might have done it because even certain family members, if they really feel like you're going crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, and then they think, you know, is she going to harm her kids? What is she saying? That the life's a video game? They're thinking, you know, I see my
Yeah,
kid play video games. He's killing people all the time. Is she going to do something, you know, if she's not even realizing what reality is? So, yeah, I can see somebody with legitimate concerns making a phone call, and they're really not even trying to, you know, stir up any crap. Maybe they just are concerned, you know? But,
and peace and blessings and love
yeah.
to the person involved, because I was praying for her, and so were a bunch of people last night. And she did a video today saying it's all kind of settled down, but now there's a next step. There's a meeting coming up. So I don't know if you want to just put her name in the chat box for people to pray for her, or because we don't do it during the live
Right.
presentations.
Yeah,
Probably.
I don't know what it is. Maybe you can add it later, or people can go to Scott's channel,
Okay.
and that's how I found her channel.
Yeah, go to Scott's channel, and he did the video on it. I think it was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he was on last night, and so you could actually find it that way as
And
well
I
because we're talking.
contacted her, gave her some support, and told her to jump into the chat and jump into this show tonight to do a live group meditation to get into that kind of group energy healing. So I
Yeah,
told her about our group if she wants to join.
awesome. So is her kids with family members right now? Then?
Nope, they're with her, which is awesome.
Oh,
And she
okay,
did a
awesome.
thank you video today. She said thank you to everybody who came in and supported her on her channel with comments and prayed.
Yeah,
Uh, and it worked. Her children are with her, but they're all having a meeting with authorities on Friday. So it's not settled, but at least they're not separated over Christmas, which would be ridiculous.
yeah, it really is. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like on YouTube. You have to sort of play by the rules, you know, and
And I think the biggest lesson learned for me in sharing this experience with her, and I put her in the Ho'oponopono website where thousands of people all over the world are praying for her and her family for a successful outcome for this at zerowise.com. I put her in there, but you don't put people's names in there. You do it anonymously. I put S in CA for California. And the main thing is not to force this down people's throats and not to hammer them with this information over their heads, not to feel like I'm affected, therefore you have to be affected. And if you're not, I'm going to make you be affected. We just got to let people live and let them come to it in their own time.
hmm
Because if you force it on them, they're going to get scared and think you're crazy. They're going to be like, oh my God, you are really scaring me.
yeah, and even kids too. Kids are resilient though. I mean, it's you know, if you're freaking out, they're going to freak out. But if you're sort of sharing the information in a calm way or whatever, then they won't freak out. And it's
Yeah.
like, you
My
know,
daughter and her friends are all Mandela affected. And I asked them, and they said they have their own examples. So it's something we share in my family quite happily and comfortably, but I
yeah,
don't force it on them.
yeah. And like I've said this before. My son, I forgot what it was. I forgot what brand of. I think it was chips or something. And he said the way he like laughed at the way it was spelled, and his teacher said, "Do you know what that's called?" And he said, "Yeah, the Mandela effect." And she nodded. So people know about it, but you know, a
Oh,
teacher
it's
can't.
cool.
Yeah,
It's cool.
yeah. So a teacher has to be cool because she'll lose her job, you know, in a
There are
hurry.
so many people who know the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Somebody in one of my comments on those images that we were showing said, I am waiting for a doctor to say that these human body parts have changed. And I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting too, but I'm not holding my breath, and I'm not believing it until somebody official believes it. That's not how we roll in this community, is it?
No.
We lead the way, we don't follow.
Yeah. I've already figured out that people that are professional, they've got PhDs and things like that. They're not going to fess up to it. They've got too much to lose, you know?
Oh, I would love to interview Dr. Bruce Lipton and see if he sees the Mandela effect and is willing to talk about it, because he's one of those like PhD major,
Yeah.
physicist, molecular biologist, epigeneticist,
Yeah.
who is probably, if he is Mandela, he'll say it.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
bet
yeah.
he would.
Yeah. He's already hanging out on the fringe though, so
He's always been on the fringe. He invented the fringe. I remember reading his books like in the 70s and 80s.
that's awesome.
Yeah, with Greg Braden and all that.
Greg Braden's another one
Yeah.
that I'd like to talk to about it. It'd
I
be
would like
awesome.
to hear these people do something on Mandela effect. They're all avoiding it. They're leaving it to the population. They're leaving it to us, grassroots people, to like look at it, examine it, discuss it, debate it. Where are they? Why aren't they jumping in? Except for Cynthia Sue Larson.
Yeah, that's
She's
true.
definitely well into it.
Hmm.
Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Well, she was talking about it before anybody else, technically, not calling
Yeah.
it the Mandela effect, but
Reality Shifters came out, I think, in 1998. So she
she's
said,
causing this, isn't she? I'm just playing.
you got to get on here and talk to us live because you caused the Mandela effect. I saw it in 1995, but I didn't know what I was looking at. I
Yeah.
didn't know I was Mandela affected
Yeah.
until I saw my logo on my steering wheel change. Nobody changed it, snuck in the middle of the night. When I bought my Tiguan in 2012, it was a big logo, that big, right in the middle of my steering wheel. No brake. And I kept looking at it going, oh, God, it should have a brake in there. You can't see where the V and the W's are. And I
Right.
just stopped that and just kept driving, no big deal. And by the time I traded it in 2016, nice big break through the middle. So, of course, I thought I caused that.
Right.
But then online, I learned everybody's seeing that change. It's happened to everybody, not just me.
Yeah. Then that's one of those ones that I saw it, I'm like, oh, cool, and just didn't realize that it never existed the way I remembered it.
You
How
have
did I
to,
live my whole life not knowing it was a V and a W?
exactly. You just have to have a personal experience of it for it to
Yeah.
become a Mandela effect for you.
Yeah. So I've had a number of those that find out later on, I'm like, oh, I thought they just changed it and stuff. It never existed the way I remember it. No way. You know?
And you see, my mom was an artist. My husband was an artist. My boyfriends were artists, so I always knew the thinker was that because when I looked at the Rodin statue, it was,
Yeah.
So that one I shared, and I'm not an artist, but that one
Yeah.
was a big one for me.
Yeah. There's even a show that Scott was talking about over in Britain, where he did that for years, putting his fist to his forehead at the beginning of it. I can't think of the name. He mentioned it in last night's show, but
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that's,
great. Oh, there's a famous guy. He was a writer married to Marilyn Monroe. What's his name? Not Arthur C. Clarke. He was a playwright.
nah, I don't know.
Dude doing the thinker. You can't see anything personal because it's from the side. But he's doing the thinker like this, and he's a famous author from the 1950s.
Hmm.
And
So,
that's online. You can look that up. They haven't managed to pull that yet, unless maybe.
yeah.
Well, do you guys want to do the meditation?
Joy, joy. Yeah, in fact, you want to start the sound and we'll check it out?
Yeah, okay. So what I have here is my phone. I do everything on my phone. It's like my little computer. I'm borrowing my daughter's computer for this. I produce all my videos on this phone. And I've gone to thetonegenerator.com.
Hmm.
And for tonight, I've picked 432. I don't know if you can see it. It's too bright, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. It's 432 hertz. And that is a solfeggio or solfeggio tone for creativity, peace of mind, joy, love, happiness. So I'm going to play it behind the meditation and see if you guys like it. And if you don't, in the comments, just go, no, skip the tone. Because next time I was thinking of using the miracle tone that heals DNA, that heals all the DNA. I thought that'd be kind of cool to play under one of our meditations to have that healing tone. So I'll hit play and you tell me, is that too loud?
I don't hear it at all, I don't think. No. Wait, there it is. When you move it, oh, you're moving it by the mic. Okay. Yeah.
Is that too loud? If I'm talking like this and I'm saying take a 9.
No, it's very subtle. I think that's good that
You think
people
it's
won't
subtle
have a
enough?
problem with it. Yeah.
Okay, and feedback, guys, let me know with the tone or without the tone, quieter tone or louder tone. Okay? Love your feedback. Always, always. I'm going to put it down, though. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think the frequencies is still be coming through. So, because I can hear it real subtly, so it'll be good.
So remember, this is for, you can go to the online tone generator as well while you're working or driving. It's not a meditative thing. Not this one. Don't do this one while you're driving. And you can just play these tones during the day.
Hmm.
And there's like 6 of them that are extremely healing for the mind and the body and the spirit. And you can
Okay.
look those up, solfeggio tones, and then you can just play them in the background and let them do their thing.
Right on.
Okay, so bless you if that was a sneeze.
It was a throat clear, sorry.
Oh, okay. So we're going to do joy tonight. It's that time of year, but we could be joyful any time of year in this group, that is for sure. So I want to start out in the usual way where we just take a nice, deep, cleansing breath in and hold it for just a few moments. That's comfortable. And exhale out any negativity that you may sense around you. And then take a nice, deep, cleansing breath in. Hold it for just a few moments. And this time, exhale out any tension that you might be feeling in your body. And lastly, take a nice, deep breath in. Let your tummy extend. Hold it for a few moments. And exhale out any worries that you may have had this week since we did our last live cleansing healing group meditation. And now just start to breathe in regularly and comfortably in through your heart and out of your heart in a comfortable pace that you feel comfortable doing. Breathe in through your heart chakra and out of your heart chakra. And as you're breathing in and out of your heart chakra, start to draw in a beautiful, clear, clean light on the in-breath. And then exhale that light on the out-breath. And know that that light is coming to you from God, Source, and from your higher self. And out. And now as we breathe that light in through our heart chakra and out, we're going to let it fill our bodies first from the top of our head all the way down to the tips of our toes. And that light can be any color that you want it to be right here, right now. Breathing the light in and exhaling it out. And before we do our cocoon of light, we're going to shoot a grounding cord down now from our root chakra at the base of your spine. Shoot the light all the way down into the center of the earth where it splays out like the roots of a tree when it reaches the center. And that color is usually silver or gold, but your grounding cord can be any color that you like. And now as we breathe that color in and out of our heart centers, we're going to let it fill a cocoon, a bubble, an egg of light around us. It's going to go above our heads, around our bodies, behind us, and it's even going to go completely under our feet. And once you're sitting comfortably and breathing in through your heart chakra in this protective bubble of light, just imagine a really joy-filled time in your life. It could be happening right now with relatives and family who are gathering for the holidays, for Christmas, and for Hanukkah and the Festival of Lights and all the other celebrations that occur around the world this time of year. Or it could be a past celebration, even a birthday celebration, or maybe when your child was born, or you adopted a dog or a cat, or found a cat, or a cat found you. Just put yourself into that scene. What did it look like? What did it feel like? What did it sound like? And now we're going to join together and we're going to have our own group meditation intention where we ask for joy. We're willing to ask for joy in our minds or out loud right now for ourselves and our families, because that is your joy spot. That is where the most joy can be felt. It's usually at home and it's usually with your loved ones. It's the most meaningful joy. And then, of course, we can ask for other joys, which might include work colleagues being kinder, bosses being kinder, better pay, being appreciated at work and compensated well for it, having a successful song or art project or book being well received by the public. All of these things bring you joy. They bring you a sense of satisfaction and happiness and accomplishment, but mostly they make you happy. Joy is that little big word for meaning I'm happy, but I'm really happy, so I'm going to say I'm joyful because I'm so happy. And one of the things that makes us really happy at any time of the year is gratitude. So if you're feeling just a little bit blue this time of year, a lot of people are, maybe they don't have a lot of family to visit with, start a gratitude journal between now and January 1st. And just on pieces of paper, write down three things every day, three different things every day that you feel joyful for, that make you happy. So you're grateful for them. And this kind of gratitude just increases your happiness and increases your joy. One of the things that I do when I'm meditating in the morning, right before I get up, is I always say, thank you, I love you, thank you, I love you, thank you, I love you. And I think of who I love, and I think of what I'm grateful for. And I just say thank you. And I do it inside my head, but you could do it out loud. Or if you prefer, do that right before you go to bed. When you, right before you know your head's hitting the pillow and you're just about to doze off, just think of something that you're really grateful for and say, thank you, I love you. It will bring you more joy. And I do believe it brings joy into your cells, into your molecular structure of your body. And now, as a group, we can start to spread this joy that we're feeling now. And we can first send it to our loved ones. So now, whatever color you've been meditating with tonight, send that color as a beautiful wave or shower to all your loved ones and let it envelop them in the joy and happiness that you're feeling right here, right now. And let them bathe in your joy and happiness and gratitude. And when you're ready, if you like, go ahead and send that color out to your community. And that could be to people you work with and bosses, friends, neighbors. It can be a whole town. Let that color just spread out and over your entire community. And in that color is your love and your gratitude because you're sharing your joy now with your community. And now, if you like, if it feels comfortable, let that color of joy and gratitude, love, appreciation, and happiness spread out to cover the whole country that you're in. Let it spread out fast, quickly, boom, it's done. You've covered your entire country now with your joy, your love, your appreciation, your happiness, and your gratitude. And finally, if you feel comfortable doing this, let your joy through that light spread out and cover the entire world. Just cover the entire world with this color of light that you have created and generated through your heart chakra, through your heart breathing, from God and Source and your higher self to the earth through you. Spread that color out all over the world, whether it's flat or round, it doesn't matter. However you see Earth, let this love light spread all over Earth. And just remember this time of year where it's wonderful And it's also a little bit more stressful because things have to be bought and fixed and cooked and done on time, right? Just remember to give yourself love, appreciation, gratitude, happiness, and joy. You really, really deserve it. And when you're ready, just start to move around a little bit, open your eyes. Get some water if you think you need it, and let your grounding cord go back into the middle of the earth where it disappears. There.
Excellent day.
I stopped the tone. What do you guys think? What did you think, Shane? Did the tone sound okay? This 432 hertz.
Yeah, it was only coming through with your voice. I don't know if it, whenever you stopped talking, you stopped hearing it, but let me see. Biker Babe says she thought it overshadowed your voice. So it probably does sound maybe different on different devices, depending on. With my headphones on, it was really mellow for
So if you
me.
guys don't like the tones, that's fine. We'll just do the voice and the silence because my voice does get very quiet for some reason during the transmission of the meditation. Like now it's normal, and then when I play it back during the meditation, it's very quiet. But if you get a chance, run some tones for yourself during the day of 432, which will bring you joy, and 528. Is that the one? 528? Yeah,
Uh,
528.
is it
That,
528 or
that
527?
528 miracle tone for DNA.
Oh, okay.
That will heal anything in your body that's physical that needs healing. It's a DNA tone.
Okay.
And this is more of a mind, mental, feeling tone. The 432 is more for feelings, and the 528 is more for the physicality. I don't know why I'm making a chicken move
Yeah,
there, but
528. I heard that was the love frequency. Is that? I guess. What were you saying it was? The miracle tone 528?
DNA. It helps restructure DNA, but they sure do list it for everything. They list it for love, yep, DNA, and they
Yeah.
list it for healing.
Yeah, I've seen it as for DNA too. Yeah.
Healing and for love. I've seen it done as the love tone too.
Well, love makes the world go around, so.
Sure does. We know that in this group.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's it. We've done it until are we getting together again before the new year or after? What's the next date after? Let's see. Oh, right before the new year.
Actually, I will be in Austin next week, so I guess we're gonna take a week off.
Let's
Or
take a week off for New Year's. Everybody will be busy with their families and celebrating anyway.
okay, and then we'll come back. So see you guys next year.
We'll see you next year. Wow.
Oh wow, Ronnie, thank you so much.
Hey, Ronnie. Hello, everybody in the chat. I'll go back later and catch up with you guys. I'll see what you guys said and try to be a part of the chat that way.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited about what this new year is going to bring, and we've got a lot of cool activities we're going to be doing, and so yeah, if I can, I just don't know if I'll be able to. I'd love to live stream from there, or I just
Yeah, just live stream when you can.
yeah,
Like, don't try to schedule it. Just if you get a good connection, pop on and let us know what you're doing.
yeah. Or Sherry, she might have a better phone service than me. Maybe she can.
There, how cool.
So yeah, so maybe I can leave a I don't know, if you guys watch the notifications, if she's going to do something, I'll post like one of those, you can post
Hmm.
stuff now. So I'll
Yeah.
just post something saying, hey, go over to Overprotected Sherry's
She
channel.
does
And
everything on her phone too, and she seems to get a pretty good
yeah,
live stream going on. I think that's her phone.
it seems like whenever I get out of Tulsa, and I've got, I use Boost, but it's on the Sprint network. So I don't know where Sprint's big.
I don't know. It depends on where you are too. Well, Moneybags is in Sedona. Did you see that?
Oh, he is? No, I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
he did a live stream from Bell Rock.
Oh,
So when you're in
wow.
Sedona, you were in a place mountainous that like has dodgy
Yeah,
service,
yeah.
dodgy cell phone service.
That's kind of the point too. You get away from some of the EMF stuff. That's a good thing. So So it's always bittersweet for me. I'm like, no signal, but no radiation from it either.
There you go. So you get to have an electronic break.
Yeah, I like it.
So enjoy and pop in and say hi if you feel like it, but don't feel like you have to.
Yeah, I'll definitely be getting footage and stuff like that. So for
Cool.
anybody that wants to be on camera, some people might not
Yeah,
want to.
go out and with Sherry and do a little ghost hunt and see if you guys can find some orbs. I'm sure she knows how to do that, and so do you. And see if you can take pictures of any UFOs.
That'd be awesome. And I'll get some footage of the bonfire and stuff too. So either way, it'd be really neat.
Yeah. See if you can get some UFOs and some orbs while you're out there.
And we forgot to take a group picture in Tulsa. You know, people were like, I thought about it, but I don't want to be the one to bring it up. So, yeah, we took one as we were leaving, but like half the people were gone. So, but yeah, hopefully someone to remind me this time, and you know, whoever. Yeah, that way we can get a picture. So.
And a group roundup maybe, show like you did last time.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 on total. That worked.
Yeah. Well, lots of love to everybody, and we'll see you here on the Power of 8 at 8 next year. And thank you so much, Eileen, for being a part of this.
I love it. Thank you so much. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and have a wonderful Christmas and Hanukkah and New Year. Mwah.
Amen to that. Bye-bye, everybody.
Peace.
If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.